Hey guys. Hey. So I would be fine with your sound on. Is there a sound allowed to be on, Paul? Does that work?
Yes, have to mute themselves.
Does it mute themselves? Okay, so definitely unmute yourself if you have a question. But I'll just start talking and then I'm not sure I'll be able to see you if you do have a question, but okay, so the first IO app, hopefully everybody got on the computer, did their account, and then has the app on their phone now. If not, you may have a really hard time following along, but hopefully you're already in and your contacts are in. Does anyone have the app and not have their contacts updated in the app yet? Hopefully you're all good with that. And I'll just start right away. I love this app because of how much money it made me the first year. So there were contacts in my phone that I never would have reached out to had I not been using the app. There were people just completely not on my radar. But because of using the app, seeing that they were starred, one of them was Oldham County. Well, I don't even normally work Oldham County, but a friend of mine lives there, and I happened to see her on the app and texted her. We did lunch, and then they ended up buying something a little over 400,000. So that was my first deal because of First, and they've since bought one more time after that. But my first year using First, I had 810,000 in sales that I would not have gotten had I not been using First. They were people that were not on my radar. So I was just going to show you a little bit what I do. It is very much routine how I go through it. So if there's something that you've seen in the app that I don't touch on, just, definitely unmute yourself and ask. So what I do first, every time I get into the app, assuming you guys have your contacts in it and you can see what I see. So if you have your app open, you're on the home screen. The very first thing I do is I go to my starred contacts. Now I talked to First about the stars and how it's set up, like how long between someone looking for properties online, because that's how someone gets stars. Your contacts are getting stars based on whether or not they're shopping for houses online, whether it's Zillow, Realtor. I'm not sure exactly what all apps First tracks their intelligent information from, but they are on house hunting apps. So what I asked them today, that's come up several times for me, is how long between when they decide to stop house hunting and they're not on the apps anymore, when those stars go away. There is no timeline. Like whatever is set up in their algorithm, they were not able to define a specific time for when these people, will no longer be starred in your contacts. So it may be if you talk to someone and you find out, no, we're not really house hunting, there's really not a way of permanently removing them, because they may look again and you'll want to have access to them as another starred contact. But anyway, you're under your opportunities and you're looking at your starred contacts. When you click connect, which hopefully you've already tried this, you've got the option for calling, texting, emailing, or social. Social is only going to work if you have their Facebook or Instagram connected to the contact in your phone. Same with email. This is only as good as the information you put into your phone. So if you have email addresses for contacts, it's a great idea to go ahead and plug them in. Hey girl. So what I normally do is send a text first. So I think what people have had a lot of questions more about is, what do you text? Like if it's someone random, you're going to have people come up in these starred contacts that you see every day or see frequently, or you at least know a lot about them, you recognize the name, or you're going to have contacts that you haven't talked to in 6 years. You're going to have such a big mess of different kinds of people. So I'm going to start with one that, if I were to click on one that I don't recognize, I'm first going to go ahead and click the text button, because I'll be able to pick up what our previous texts were. You are not going to accidentally send someone a text. I have never clicked in this app and accidentally sent someone a text before I was ready or before I was prepared. But if you click connect, you're going to see what your previous text were. It might jog your memory on who the person is. If you don't having text conversations, go to Facebook, look them up. It may take a couple minutes of recon to figure out exactly who you're talking to. Once you have texted them, and I'm going to give you some ideas of how to do conversation starters and what to text people. But once you have sent a text or made a call through this app, you get a pop-up window. It says, nice job reaching out. And it asks you if you want to set a next step or if you didn't actually reach out to the person. So you just choose. Setting a next step is going to vary per person. I'm going to get to that a little bit too, on how many times you should connect to someone and how you can set up those timelines. But now I think, let me go back to, all right. So when you are looking at your contacts and you're trying to decide what you should say to them, or even who they are, you get on Facebook, you get on social media somewhere to kind of jog your memory of how you know them, where you know them from. While you're on their Facebook, look for a milestone event. Look for something you can comment about. Their dog passing away, getting a new dog, a kid going off to college. Look for a milestone event that gives you a great conversation starter. And then use that in your first contact. So when I say like it takes a little bit of recon sometimes when you're going through your contacts, like I have 1,600 contacts. I have no idea if that's a lot or not a lot, but there's definitely hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people I don't know a face for. So do some recon, check Facebook, figure out how you know them, and look for a milestone event to talk about. So here's an example of one that I did last week. And so I need to move my screen over, don't I? Else y'all can see all this. Let me do that. How's that?
I can see conversation starters.
Okay. So conversation starters. I personally always reintroduce myself unless it's someone I'm already in conversation with. But if it's someone I have not talked to in a long time, I don't assume that my phone number is in their phone. That's just a kiss of death. If they already feel awkward by the first contact. So I normally start my texts with clients or with people I'm hoping to be a client, potential clients. Hi, so-and-so, it's Terra. Or I'll even go as far as saying it's Terra with Remax. I rarely add my last name, but that's just me personally. I don't necessarily think there's a good or bad way to do that. Merry Christmas, your name popped up and a reminder on my phone to check in with you about the lake house. I don't know if y'all do Christmas there, and I use y'all a lot. I don't want my text to sound stuffy or impersonal whenever I can help it. So I use y'all a lot in text. I don't know if y'all do Christmas there, but the lake levels are disappointing right now, aren't they? Has your timeline for selling changed? This is specific to this client, obviously, because I already know his timeline. So I was able to do a very specific question for him. That question may not work for everyone that you're reaching out to, but it is so important to end every starter text with a question. Some kind of question. You're trying to engage them. This one text is not going to get anything done. Engaging with them and starting an ongoing conversation will be what matters. So look for what your question is going to be, and I'll give you some more ideas here in a second. But you're welcome to take a picture of this or whatever, just to kind of give you an idea. Moving on to the next one. So this is just another. Oh, here we go. Sorry. I'm new to this, guys. Bear with me. I'm teaching a class. When you click a contact, so you're in your app and you're under your starred contacts.
Are you on like on your hot list or past clients? Are you on your
You're
group?
just under your starred contacts.
Okay.
That's where I go 90% of the time, is just starred contacts. So when you're in starred contacts and you click a contact, now this is one thing I haven't figured out. Sometimes, most of the time, the blue box comes up if you're inside a contact. It says not sure what to say. That gives you conversation starters or ideas that you can click on straight from there. So under not sure what to say, you can scroll through the options. This one says, hi, Erin, it's been too long. How are you doing? I'd love to catch up soon. It's a little generic for me, but any contact is better than none. So even if you're just feeling whatever they're suggesting, go for it. If you can edit it a little bit to make it more about your personality, that's better for sure. But any conversation starter is better than none. I like this one a lot. I use this one frequently. Hi there, Aaron. Well, a little bit changed. I'll show you my edits in a minute. Hey there, Aaron. Your neighborhood looks hot right now. Lots of interest in the area. Have you given any thought to putting your house on the market? I like talking about their neighborhood in text, and I'll show you a suggestion on that here in a second. Does everyone see the blue box in their contact? Okay, has anybody had any trouble finding it? Because sometimes when you click a contact, yeah, you click on the contact itself
Yeah.
and that blue box.
Oh, not sure what to say.
Sometimes that blue box does not come up. I had 2 contacts over the weekend. That blue box was not there, and I do not know why. Click on another contact. If it did not show up when you clicked on one contact, get out of it, close the top left corner says close. Go to another contact and it should come up. It's going to look like this.
Oh, I see this.
Here, you see, it's going to look like this under a contact. And you can scroll through to give you suggestions on what to say. Personally, I think Facebook is a much better way to get suggestions on what to say. Look for those milestone events. Anything. If they're posting a picture in a red dress, comment or send them a text. I loved your red dress on Facebook. That's so cute. Where did you get it? Anything to start the conversation. Does not have to be real estate related. I have some contacts who like the one I gave you an example for Mark. He is just a business guy. He wants to get straight to the point. So for him, yes, I specifically only get conversation started real estate wise, but everybody good on that? Good, found it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you do anything when one pops up and says, you know, it's one of those that you've lost, right? You and I've seen that.
Mhm.
Do you respond to those people of, why did I wonder why they went with somebody else? Do you say, oh, I see you bought something?
I
oh, that
haven't.
was so good, or you just don't say
I haven't,
anything?
but I do look at every single one of my missed deals and figure out why. I've never messaged them. You can't really drag them back, you know? They're gone.
Told a couple of people, hey, you know, glad you could find the house, and they have referred people to me later, but.
Okay, that's
Maybe
awesome. I haven't done that.
Maybe they referred.
Maybe
something.
something didn't
Fine.
matter.
With commission guilt. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Whatever you say.
Well, I think sometimes they forget, like if you didn't, you know.
Well, that's true. We are out of people's minds unless we intentionally stay in front of them. We just are. We cannot assume. So that's the reason for this app. It's another way of staying front of mind to people. So when you send those texts, when you hit send text from template, it opens up that contact and you can edit it in your text window. So it is not going to just automatically send it for you. It's going to create the text in your text app and will allow you to edit it before you send it. So first, we'll always pop up with a suggestion to set a next step. That is your next step of contact. Marketing strategies tell you to reach out to people 5 times before you give up on them via at least 3 different methods. So I love that when you hit set next step, it shows you your options for reaching out to them. Call, email, text, in person. You should not be only reaching out via text, okay? Or only reaching out via phone calls. If you're not reaching them, I'm talking specifically if you've reached out and you have not gotten a response or the response wasn't ongoing, try a different method. Of course, because this class is coming up, I played around with a lot of contacts yesterday, and I had one who I hadn't worked with for about a year. They had a lot of credit issues to work on. So I checked back. I was going to send them another text. I'd already texted them twice with no response. So I could have taken it personally. I could have been like, oh, they just don't want to work with me anymore. They don't like me, you know, whatever. I'm too loud. But you cannot take things personally in this. You can't. So I called him instead of sending another text. He answered. He was super happy to hear from me. He gave me an update on where they are on their credit. And we talked about interest rates and we talked about timelines. But had I chosen to just kind of like get my feelings hurt a little bit over that, I wouldn't have taken that next step and contacted them. So as hard as it is sometimes not to take things personally, it really is the kiss of death in real estate. Don't take things personally. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. That guy's just not a texter. His kid plays on his phone all the time. You know, that's just it. But I could have like gotten really, you know, feelings hurt over it. So this is another example of one, just super simple. I'll say, hi, blah, blah, it's Tara, you've been on my mind. And that's just something people like to hear. It's just nice to know that we're thought of. So, I don't feel like that's a manipulative statement or whatever. It's just a nice thing to know that you've been on someone's mind. And I think the shorter texts, in my opinion, are less advertising, less preachy, less marketing. So just keep it short and sweet. But again, I found the question for her from just going back to her Facebook and remembering, you know, she had a freshman in college. So another example. Oops. This is something I've done many times too. I go ahead and just call it what it is. I'll go ahead and just acknowledge the fact that I have an app that alerts me when people are house hunting. And I underlined a couple words in this. So good morning, Sue. This is Terra Harrison with Remax. We met at blah, blah, blah. I mean, I like to jog their memory on where we've met. So it doesn't look like I'm just dragging them out of, you know, a paid for marketing database. I have an app that alerts me when my people are house hunting. Have you all had a life change or are you wanting to move? And I put in parentheses here, obviously this is not part of the message, but if you know a spouse's name, change this to, did John get a promotion or a job transfer? You know, change it to someone's name, show them another connection. Anything you can do to show that they are part of your life and you are part of theirs in one way or another. Familiarity is fantastic. So look for those options. I underline the word hunting. I think it's really important to use words that show action. And instead of looking like we're begging for a contact or begging for an opportunity, if you're talking in terms that are already action terms, then you're not going to come off as desperate. So look for opportunities to do that. So then I said, so I'll get an answer to that. As a follow-up, oh, I see, that's exciting. Have you chosen a realtor to work for you? A lot of times we're quick to the first response of, do you have a realtor yet? Yet is a terrible word. Do you have is a terrible phrase. It falls flat on the page. So look for action words to put into your text anytime you can. Have you chosen? Choosing is really a powerful action word. Have you chosen a realtor to work for you yet? That implies that you're not just asking if they pick someone off, but have the whole concept that we do work for them. You just introduced that concept. And if they do have a realtor who is not working well for them, who they don't feel like is working in their best interest or doing enough, you've just introduced that thought into their brain too.
Do you find that when you say that it's more of an open-ended like verbiage, you know, have you chosen instead of like open, like you're, I don't know how to say it.
It could be open-ended. Do you mean like who is your realtor would be less open-ended? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It could. But for me, I prefer to introduce the idea of one that would work for them. Do they have one that's working for them? Instead of,
And if they just say, yes, we have a realtor.
I would say, oh, that's wonderful. I wish you the best of luck for this. And then I honestly, just to not be that human who just falls off the planet just because they do have another realtor, I would absolutely find another thing to follow up with them on, non-real estate related. Because you don't know if that deal is going to fall through, if they're going to be happy with that person, they may come back to you, but you can't simply say, oh, I'm going to do a better job. We're not taking business from other realtors, obviously, but it is okay to stay connected to that person.
Then what do you say if they say, well, I'm using so-and-so, but I'm not real happy?
That's sticky.
Mhm.
You, in that situation, you're not really happy. I'll go ahead and just say what I would say, and then maybe I would have to backtrack it later, but I would just say, always here for you if you need me. I hope things get better. I hope you get the amount for your house that you're wanting. As your friend, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. You cannot suggest, oh, well, break the contract with them.
Right.
You can't say, you can't really even give suggestions for the other realtor. You can't say, oh, well, I looked at your listing and they should be doing this, this, or this.
Sure.
Can't do it. So you just stay available for them and offer your assistance when they need you. And again, I would try to make another personal connection outside of real estate. Hey, I can't wait to hear how Luke is doing. If you've got any tips for Rainey going, please send me, let me know what Rainey needs to know going into her freshman year. Things that are just going to make a connection for them that's not salesy.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So the use action words. These are the ones I don't like. Do you have? Do you need? Let me know. And the word help. I hate the word help. Help is it's just a horrible word. I mean, it's a horrible word. Anybody can help. We get our 3-year-olds to help do the dishes. We are way more than help in selling a house. We are the tool they need. We are the machine they need. We are the train to get them from one place to another. Avoid using help whenever you can, in my opinion.
So how would you reword that? Can I help you find a house? Let me know.
May I go to work for you finding the perfect house for you? I have houses in my network that don't have buyers yet. You could be the perfect buyer for it. Let's talk about what you're looking for. Let's talk, let's just go into action. The next step has to be action. If you're saying things like, let me know, you've really just identified yourself as a passive realtor.
Sure.
We're not waiting for them to do anything. We're going to be in action regardless. If they want to jump on our action train and go into sales and success in either finding their house or selling one, great. But they need to see that we're moving forward regardless, and they can be a part of what we've got going on, or they can see us as someone who's just waiting around for what they've got going on. So let me know, help.
And I do that sometimes. Let me know what I can do.
We do, because
And I know that it's like, well, now I'm waiting on them.
I know, we all do it.
Yeah.
But we just have to retrain our brains. When you start typing it, especially in a text, when you start typing that, just think about how it sounds to the other person. We think it sounds super helpful and just generous, we're here and we're very available to help, but for them, it looks passive. Okay, so this is just my little pep talk. Anyone can help. You are exceptional and you offer a lot more than some flimsy help. Don't use the word help if you can help it. It is.
Yeah, but that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense.
Don't let I guess another way to say it is don't let the word help be your defining term when you're talking to them. You're going to go to work for them. I like work, advocate, clear the fog. I love clear the fog because you can actually talk about anyone in the market, there's a level of stress for anyone buying or selling. And simply saying that you clear the fog in their home buying process. And there's ways to say it in conversations, ways to say it in text, but anyone in the process of buying or selling knows what that feels like and what that means, because there's so much that they haven't done before, learning to do for the first time, or they've had bad experiences in past deals and they just realize it is kind of difficult. And so then by saying, I clear the fog in this transaction for you, go on to say, tough things are going to come up. I deal with them all the time. I'm going to get you through them quicker and save you more money through that problem than if you were doing this on your own. And then blaze a trail. That one I've never used. I've heard other people use it. It doesn't fit right with my personality. But again, I would rather use a cheesy line than a predictable flat line. So even if you feel like what you're saying to someone is cheesy or lame, so cheesy is memorable. Even though some of the words I've suggested could be cheesy or seem awkward, choose your own, but be memorable. Nothing you say matters if you are easily forgotten. If what you texted just falls on the floor and doesn't have some kind of part of your personality in it, you're going to be forgotten. And that's just the same thing as you might as well not even bother texting. So don't stress over whether or not you think what you're saying is cheesy or lame. I'd rather be cheesy and lame, honestly. Just go ahead and go for it. So, this is another example. If you want to screenshot or take a picture of any of my examples, you're more than welcome to do that. And obviously fine tune them for what works well for you. But hello, Sue. This is Terra with Remax. I was in your neighborhood this morning and thought of you. I'm working for a friend who will be investing in rental properties near you. How long have you lived there now? I like that question because that is an easy answer. You're not asking anyone to make a decision or talk about their housing needs. Like, you're not asking, are you ready to list yourself? If they have not really thought about whether they're going to list, that's such a hard question to ask on the fly. If you can come up with more simple questions that have simple answers for them, then you've got a better conversation starter. So when you are in the app and you've clicked on a contact, you can see their home, usually, not always. Sometimes they don't pull, like, for instance, if your contact is married and the house is in the spouse's name, there can be some reasons why it wouldn't pop up. But for the most part, when you click on a contact, you're going to see the person's property and their address down at the bottom. So you see a picture of their house, then down at the bottom, you're going to see properties. And these are the properties that they own. Obviously, if you already know about the neighborhood, great, go ahead and send this text, go on. If you don't know where they specifically live, look it up. Make sure you've got 2 to 3 points of interest or 2 to 3 points of knowledge about their home or where they are before you send that first text, so you can keep that conversation going. Be educated on your contacts if you're not already, before you send that text. So does everybody know how to do that? Did everybody see in our app how to see their client's address?
Is that supposed to be their most recent from the PBA?
Yes, it should be. It should be. Because I've had some that properties changed hands and they did not show up anymore. Mhm.
Okay.
Now, again, I don't know what the timeline is though. I mean, even first couldn't identify their timelines for their algorithm. So I don't know exactly when that would drop off. Okay, so I still have a contact in here on mine. I was going to talk about that when I click on, because it's someone I've already contacted, that blue box does not show up of conversation starters. They're a 3-star contact, even though I have talked to her. She is not selling. She's like 6 months away from paying off her house. So she says she's not selling, but by telling me she's 6 months off from paying off her house, I know in the back of my head that could change. So I have my next step set as to contact her in 5 months. In retrospect, now that I'm saying that out loud, I should probably have it set to 4. I need to be contacting her at 4, 5, and 6. So you can set a next step. And even though it says due date as tomorrow, in a few days, or next week, you can customize that out as far as you want. So if you have a client who, is working on their credit, they were, you were house hunting and they've pulled back, they're waiting, they're fixing the credit, having a baby, whatever, go ahead and set that up so that you get that alert on your phone. You can set a bunch of alarms, on your iPhone or whatever, but when you do it through the app, it shows you every time you've had contact with them. So one suggestion I have, if you can get in the habit of, when you're thinking of a person that you want to contact about buying or selling, or if it's a new client, contact them through the first app so that you always have a record of when your last communications were, and you can set those reminders. So anyways, I like that. Back to the 5 before you give up though. Reaching out to a contact 5 times, 1 week apart is usually recommended. So if you reach out once and you don't hear back from them with that first contact, my first is usually a text. So you're going to go based on different people. If you're contacting, an 80-year-old grandma, your first contact's not going to be a text. It's going to be a phone call, but you're going to know your clients and who the best method for reaching them on your initial conversation. So if your initial conversation is not responded to right away, set an alarm to try again 1 week later. Make that another text, do a social, an iMessage or a messenger through Facebook, a phone call, but use at least three methods for a total of 5 reach outs before you give up on that contact. And just don't feel hurt if you're not hearing back. You really have no clue what's going on in their lives that would cause that. Sure, it might be another realtor, but it might not. It might just be that is not their method of communication they prefer. So you change it up.
Did you ever say, have I done something that's you get moved back out? Or
Only if I specifically hear the words, I don't want to work with you. If I have, and I've had that once, and I ended up finding out that he just didn't mean to say you. He meant to say, I don't want to work with you right now. He was going to go out of the country for 6 months. But I cried and cried and cried that, so that one I did ask, and it was just a mistake. But unless I hear, I don't want to work with you, no, I'm not. No. Move on. Take nothing personal. No, it's not easy. I'm in therapy twice a month, or I like it. It's not easy. Like, seriously, it's something I've worked on. I definitely know it's not easy, but it does make our business and our jobs a whole lot easier when we don't take anything personally. We're going to be a lot more productive for a lot longer.
I'm like, you're gonna, in the back of my mind, I'm going, dude, like I listed and sold 2 of their properties.
Right.
What did I do? Did I make them mad? Did I,
9 times out of 10, you just didn't stay in front of their face. Someone else walked in front of you, and for whatever reason, at that moment, they decided to use the person that was right in front of their face. I don't believe you probably never did anything. Chances are you never did anything wrong. You just weren't the next one they saw.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why this app is so important too.
Yeah.
I've already said this too, but always ask a question at the beginning of your initial text. Always ask a question. Try to make it an easy question, not one that they would have to like talk to their spouse about before, deciding if they're going to sell. An easy question, something to keep the conversation going. You are not going to gain them as a client in your first 5, 6, 7 texts. You are just staying in front of their face and starting that conversation that can lead to coffee, lunch. If they do happen to say, yes, we have been thinking about selling, set up a meeting. Do not end a conversation with them without an appointment, whether it's to go to their house or to meet for coffee, something that requires a next step for them. When you are in the app, and actually, I'm sorry, I should have led with this too. If you are looking at your contacts and they are a realtor, you click the 3 dots on the side and you categorize them. So you can mark them as an agent and they will not keep showing up in your starred contacts. If you haven't already done that, it's a good thing to just play around with that. When I got this app, I was playing Words with Friends, kind of like in my downtime in a doctor's office or whatever. Like that was kind of like my mindless game on my phone. I deleted that and started using First as that mindless game. And it was smart. But I started with just getting rid of the agents off my list, moving some contacts into past clients, active clients. I don't keep a hot list. I probably should. And I was actually looking at that yesterday. I'm probably going to start keeping a hot list. I don't yet know how that changes anything for you in your app. I guess my list is constantly going through my head, so I didn't think I needed it, but I am going to try it. And I love the 1 year out button.
Mhm.
Use the 1 year out button because you'll be surprised how fast that year goes. And you might have already lost kind of, they might not already be gone from your radar. So use that 1 year out button on people who are repairing their credit, who have been in their house for 2 years. Typically people stay in a house for 2 years.
Where are you seeing 1 year out?
Here under groups.
Oh, did
So
you
you're
set
in a
that up?
contact.
Did you set that up?
No,
It's
mm-mm.
not in one.
It's not in yours.
Is it in yours? Hold on. Under the groups. Nope.
So when you're in a contact and you click the 3 dots to the left, to the right of connect, you can mark them as an agent or you can put them in a group. So, okay,
Oh, the 3 dots.
click manage,
All right.
click manage also, and you
I
can
see
choose
it.
1 year out there.
Oh.
Any questions for Zoom people? Are we good?
Nope.
Okay.
1 year out? I don't have one. I don't know where I'm creating them.
Well, okay, maybe I did create it at one point. I didn't think I had.
Yeah, you can choose whatever you want to put.
Yeah, and again, if you're thinking of someone you're about to text, go into the first app first and text them from there so that you can set those reminders easily. It's a good habit to get in instead of just opening up your texting app.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And
And you
I
can-
tried, because I have a terrible memory, I tried to put a note with each of my clients, whether it's
Okay.
on the contact list, when I put their information in, when I put their key in their information down in notes, I try to say, met them at Walmart and they had on a red shirt, or, I mean, just something.
Yeah.
This is so-and-so's daughter-in-law, we lived at this house. Because I just,
Well, that's great, because that actually
struggle.
helps you not have to do the recon that I do on them, because a lot of times I will go back in old text to remember where I met them, or onto Facebook to remember where I met them. So yeah, you're saving yourself a step if you're good about notes. I'm terrible at the notes.
it's just, it's hard to.
And I actually tried to add a screenshot right before this class started of my deals won and deals lost.
Where do you see that?
So when you're on your home screen, go all the way down to the bottom. And it'll show your network efficiency, your deals won, deals missed, and nothing motivates you more on this app than periodically checking your deals missed.
I don't have anything on that. Is that new?
Well, congratulations. I missed,
But there's a bunch of
8 million.
contacts, so how do you, wonder how it links?
it links it by, so when I click my deals missed, it shows me which client, which contact, listed or sold. So
It says link my email list.
a lot of them are explanatory. So the first one that comes up in mine, he just closed last week on his house. I did not list it for him, but I'm also his ex-wife's realtor. So
Oh.
that one I'm not going to take personally because
No.
I'm currently representing his ex-wife and her husband.
Divorce.
Right, he did not get me in the divorce,
Yeah.
which he's selling faster, so I kind of wish I'd gotten him first, but whatever. The second sale I lost was, he's one of our inspectors and I don't use him, so I'm sure he used a realtor that he uses all the time.
Yeah.
It's really important, in my opinion, to go through the deals you missed.
There's
And
several,
just-
but I don't know who they are.
Okay, well then someone's
what
been in a
scares me.
contact, but that's a great reason to, when you see your contacts, your starred contacts come up and you don't recognize their name, don't use that as a reason to not reach out. A lot of times I'll use that phrase that shows my people. So let me go back to that slide and talk about that one again. But so I simply just identify that I do use an app that alerts me when my people are house hunting. I just go ahead and call them my people as if they are, until I know otherwise. Until I know that they already have another realtor, that guy's mine. So call it like it is, talk with confidence, and just go ahead and explain. You have an app that shows you when people are house hunting. I personally think that that just shows that you're on top of it. That, you know, you didn't just reach out luck of the draw. You intentionally had a reason to connect and work for him.
One thing I don't understand is just like under this person, it says connected 31 minutes ago.
That means you clicked on the text button, even if you didn't actually send something. You clicked one of the connection buttons and your next window opened up. So
Okay.
your message app,
But
your
I
texting
did,
app,
nothing went.
even though
to-
you didn't send it,
Okay,
it's still gonna show that you
okay,
did that.
all right.
And there's some that I feel like I just talked to a week ago, and then I'll look in the app and it'll say that my last connection was 2 months ago. And this is great for accountability. But
And even those that may say 3 stars, my brother was on there one time. He hadn't looked in 6 months.
yeah, and that is what I called first about. They don't have a timeline for when the stars disappear.
I was wondering, because
They don't.
I saw clients that.
What's up, Toby?
But
And when, is there a way to like your most frequent, I don't want to say scripts, but you know, a template? Is there a way to save that into the first?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because
That's a good
sometimes I'm really good with words and the next day I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll play around with that because that is a great tool. I don't know. I don't know. She was asking if there's a way to save like a text that you sent that you want to continue using for people. If there's a way to save that in the first app, there probably is.
oh, for just verbiage and then.
Mm-hmm. Copy and paste it from one. But yeah, I'll play around with it and look at and see. Of course, if you're using it regularly, you can go into another text you sent and copy and paste it
Yeah.
that way. Sunday evening is when I try to do this. The worst thing for me is like, because I do get up really early in the morning, is I'll get on this to play with it and then I'll realize I'm accidentally about to text someone at 5:45 in the morning. And then I have to say, okay, go back to it later on and do this later, and then I'll forget. So that is my scatterbrainness.
Just have to set you an alarm, a generic alarm at 10 o'clock. and
Yeah.
you know what it is. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so here, let me show you. So this is mine. Oh, deals won and deals missed. And so when you click on the deals missed, it'll show you each and every person. That's at the very bottom. I want to say when I first got on the app, I don't think I had anything show up in here for a couple months.
Okay.
So, but it will, it'll show up and it'll be heartbreaking and you just learn from it.
So on under my account, it says contacts with properties provided by me and around added by first 1,037.
Yeah, 3 million missed. Yikes.
Yeah, doesn't that hurt? It hurts. But click on them and go through them and figure out why you like, okay, the one that absolutely kills me, and I keep this on here to remind myself, it's a $625,000 deal. I got that contact through a lead source. I'm not even sure, I don't pay for lead sources, so I'm not sure exactly where I got it, but somehow I got that one. I just misjudged him. I didn't realize he was a serious seller. Disregarded him, didn't keep following up, and yeah, he absolutely sold in October for $625. So we're going to make mistakes. We just learn from them, and don't let it get you down. Do not let it get you down. Rentals will show up too. If you have any clients with investment properties who are simply leasing a property, they'll show up in there. There's this one. I honestly, this is a great one because I lost a listing to another agent who was willing to list for the price that the seller wanted to list for. I wouldn't. So she listed September 9th and it is still pending, or it's still active. It has not had a contract. I don't know if it's had offers or not, but I'm just watching that one for when it's close to expiring, and the date expires. I'm gonna reach out.
You're not gonna reach out before it expires. You're like,
Not about anything real estate related. I do comment on everything she does on Facebook. I watch everything she does. I sold her sister's house, so I stay connected with her sister too. But no, I'm gonna be a good
I
girl.
can't say that two
Hard.
of these deals missed for agents, so.
Oh, yeah, so you can remove those, take them out of your
Okay.
list. So go click on the, if you are in your deals missed and you see a realtor's name, you can click on the three dots and you can remove that deal from it. My dad got a deal from a mutual friend and I took that one off. Yes, it did. I felt like it didn't count. But what other ones? There's some on my list that were deals missed that are still listed. And those are the ones I focus on. Those are opportunities that are not gone. You gotta wait, but those are opportunities that you can absolutely jump back on when they expire. So check those a lot. Don't just check them when you're feeling up and perky and you think you can handle it. Those are not deals that are gone. Any questions?
Okay, now that looks so much better.
Right?
Like, okay,
I'll sit down sometimes and just scroll through the contacts
Yeah.
and delete the agents, you know. that'll
Yeah, you do.
kinda be-
You need to delete the
You need
agent.
to delete them, but I know it's like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down here for about 15 minutes and just go through.
Mhm.
and
so you
delete.
deleted them?
Yeah, you need to do that. The little
Okay.
three dots on the side where it says agent,
Yeah, remove the agent.
it goes into agent.
Okay.
I've just started using the refers section as a way to categorize your contacts. If you have anyone who has sent someone to you, anyone who's referred a client to you, those are your favorite people. Like, those are your favorite people. And I try to send them a gift periodically, even if it's not a holiday or they're not on my regular pop-up list. So refers, they have their own category, and just frequently reach them out to them and just say, hey, I know I've told you thank you 100 million times, but I just can't even begin to express how special it is that you chose me to have your referrals. And just was thinking about that this morning. Thanks again. Anything. Love on the people who refer to you. So that's a category. Active clients, you can categorize your active clients. For me, it's a category in there, but you know who your active clients are. So I have not found that to be very beneficial really in using it. Past clients is helpful because once you've done that, you don't get as many prompts for them unnecessarily. So it kind of weeds down your starred contacts list again. Ones that pop up with the new, okay? So in your starred contacts, some of them are going to pop up with new. Sometimes that's legit, and sometimes I find that it's not. Like I have one contact on here. She has been looking at houses for, let's see, I got my license in 2017. She's been looking at houses since 2017.
Okay, great.
And she just, the new button popped up on hers this week, but she's been in this list forever. So I can't explain it. Some of their algorithm is a little bit messy like that. But when those ones pop up, reach out fast because they're at the beginning stages typically. Like I've had some come up. Well, that's how I got my second deal off this app, was they popped up as a new one. I sold him a house a year ago. He was not ready to move, but his dad was. So I did not have his dad's phone number. I did not know who his dad was, but because I reached out to the son through the app, I got the dad.
It's been a Monday all day, hasn't it?
Yes.
Who else? Let's see. When
Oh, are these your?
so I have one in here that I have not categorized yet. He's a past client. He moved out of state. So I am going to categorize him as a past client and nothing else. He'll probably still keep showing up in my starred, but those are the ones you just scroll by. And all right. I mean, that's all I know to tell you about it. Any questions?
Yeah. Don't be talking cost wise, Terra.
Let me turn you up. I can't hear you, Caitlin. Okay, say it again, babe. Uh-oh. She froze. Oh, you're frozen, Caitlin. Back to me when you can. So
Hey,
anyway,
sorry. I'm back, if you can see me.
I got you.
So have you gone over kind of the cost of this? Because I did a free trial when it first came out, did that, didn't renew. So I can't actually get back into my app right now. So what does the cost of this look like for us?
For me, so it's $465 a year. Okay. The first year I had it, I did 810 in sales. That was really, it was just 2 big sales, but there are 2 sales I would not have gotten. So that 3% on those 2 deals, I had 24,300. So it's been an absolute no-brainer for me to continue it because, well, basically I can continue it for the next 52 years and it's paid itself.
Do you feel like it has helped you stay in better contact with your current clients through it as well?
Yes, not well, not my active clients. I wouldn't say that it's helped me with my active clients, but it's definitely helped remind me of the ones that I need to go back and follow up with. And I can see a sway in my business when I am not, when things get a little bit too comfortable and I've got enough in my pipeline going and I've gotten relaxed, I don't use the app as much. And then as soon as I do start using the app and reaching out to more people and real estate is back on my mind, not that real estate is off my mind, but real estate to new contacts, new conversations becomes intentional again, my business picks back up and I don't have as many lulls. So I mean, I can definitely tell a difference in my business when I get lazy with it and I'm not using it enough.
Thanks.
Now you're killing it and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Nope. So yeah, I can use it for the next 52 years and it's paid for itself. I haven't calculated what I got off of it this year or in 2022. But it's been at least $500,000. I think I probably got 500 off of it. Yeah, it's been between 500 and 600 off of it.
Well, and you're a person like I am, like I hit Facebook up hard, like I'm always commenting on stuff to stay connected and stay in front of them. So I think this is another way to do the same thing in like all the spheres. So
yeah, it is. It is. It's one more tool we have to reach people.
Yeah.
But like the two I got the first year, neither of them are active on social media. And I think that's why they weren't on my radar.
Yeah.
I work social media so hard, but those two they're just not social media people. And I think that's really why I missed them. But so yeah, headed on to the app, I never would have gotten those that year or I think it's between 500 and 600 I've gotten for 2022. Which isn't a ton, but it totally pays for the app.
Well, I mean, when you think about it though, every deal is a chain reaction. So one deal can eventually lead to many, many more deals. So
yep.
If one is caught and done, it can definitely expand. So thanks.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think what people were mostly looking for were conversation starters. Is that right? Like what to say. So has anyone else like had any other trouble with that or like need help with new conversation starters?
I've
I'll just
honestly gone on
text
to
you when I
Pinterest.
need one.
That's what I need.
I've gone on to Pinterest and put that in, you know, because you can go in and
Oh,
put
conversation.
anything, and I've gotten some different ideas, but like I said, I'm trying to make this be my CRM that I put everything into. If I'm gonna pay for it and it's gonna be beneficial.
The hardest ones are definitely the ones that you don't have a Facebook connection with already and you don't know their actual face. The ones that you have no background to go on. And those are the ones I use the app for. Just say, go ahead and identify where you got them. Be honest. And those are the ones I'm slowest to respond to, but it shouldn't be that way. We should feel just as comfortable reaching out to them. But you just use the same template. Find a way to say that you found their name on an app. Let me go back to that one if you want to talk about. I have an app that alerts me when my people are house hunting. Have you all had a life change, or are you wanting to move? Or I'll put something even more specific on there. If I do find them on Facebook, did John get a promotion or a job transfer? You know, find out the reason for moving. But always, always, always ask a question. Use action words.
Action words and
Don't use help. You are way more than help. No help.
Can I facilitate this most important transaction that you are going to be?
There you go. So, all right. Toby, you need anything? I'm gonna log off if you don't. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Toby. You're muted. There you go. Start over.
Being able to save those templates would be awesome. I'll play around with it and see. I'm already hooked on it for the next year, so I just want to make the most of it.
Good. Yeah. Make it your game. Yep. Even if you just reach out to, I mean, they say in marketing, you really should try to give out your name, either a card or a mail or something. Connect with 5 people every day. So if you're connecting with 3 people on Facebook and 1 in person, you only need to reach out to 1 person on the app a day.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to hit every starred contact in a week. Reach out to 1 new person every day. And that is a lot. It really is. That's a lot to get something going. And just don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally. I knew that on the shirt.
Yeah.
And add them to your Christmas card list.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to finish up today.
Me too. I know.
Yeah. Take it personally.
You haven't signed these.
All right, we're gonna log off then.
All right. Thank
Congrats on your
you.
new listing, Toby.
Do what?
Congrats on your new listing.
Thank you.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
Do I need to do anything, Paul?